Hello, book lovers. This is the Blue-Eyed Black Devil. Welcome back to the channel. Visitors, if you happen upon my channel, please feel free to join us. We would love to have you here. Well, hello, book lovers. I hope everyone is doing well today or tonight, wherever you are when you're hearing this. Listen, well, before I get started, if you hear any loud noises, it's probably just my heat cycling off and on. It is really windy here today for whatever reason. So you may hear a little hum in the background, but pay it no mind. Now listen, I know I recap and review books, but right now I want to do something a little different. I want to talk about something that has plagued me my entire life. In fact, I call it my own little private hell. This is something I would not wish on my worst enemy. Well, this and Steven Johnson syndrome, both of which I have. Now, I know it may not be big to you all, especially if you do not suffer from it, but since it does affect me greatly, this has permeated itself throughout my every fiber of my being. And like I say, it's been something I've had to deal with. I'm pretty sure at sometimes, most of the time unsuccessfully, which is why I'm talking to you now. What I'm talking about specifically right during this video is insomnia. Now, I know that I'm not the only one who suffers from this chronically, but knowing that doesn't really make me feel any better. This beast, I believe we're in the high double digits in this country of people who are sleep deprived. And it angers me because I figure with the percentage being what it is in the United States, I'm not quoting a number because I haven't bothered to look it up as of late, but it's safe to say that over half the country suffers from this. And to me, if only 10% of the population is chronically deprived of sleep, I just feel like that research, we should know more of how to treat it than we do in this country. You got 40 to 50 or more percent of a population suffering with something this great. Yes, there are tons of sleep aids on the markets, prescription strength and over-the-counter strength. I am on a prescription sleep aid, but truth be told, guys, I still have to take a PM with it just so that I can get, all right, this is really sad, but it's my truth nonetheless. If I can get 4 hours of uninterrupted sleep, then I can function with the greatest of ease the next day. But it's sad because doctors tell us that we need at least 8 hours of sleep. Well, I have a theory about that, but I'll get back to that in a minute. But yes, we all need at least 8 hours of sleep a night, so doctors say. But this stuff at times, it just insomnia. Let me tell you what it does to a girl like me. Well, in all of this awakeness, sometimes I feel so alienated, isolated. I feel dismissed. I am angry sometimes, and I have a rather cheerful disposition. I don't know that I'm a happy-go-lucky person, but I am a pretty cheerful person most times. But it's in the wee hours of the AM when you are wide awake and all you hear is like house settling noises, or maybe the refrigerator or the heat, or your husband or your children sleeping. And it's just a kind of constant reminder that you're awake, and for no apparent reason other than you simply cannot sleep. Okay, so I said isolation, alienation, anger. Sometimes I feel dismissed. And truth be told, I have, at the very worst bout of it, I have been paranoid. So, I would love to know what, if any, advice anyone could offer that maybe I haven't tried. Well, with that being said, let me tell you what I have tried. Like I said, I am on a prescription sleep aid, but I still have to take a PM with that from time to time. I've drank warm milk right before bed. I've exercised throughout the day, hoping to be wind down enough to just go to sleep. Sometimes, okay, remind me about the exercise and the wind down. But sometimes that can be a catch-22 also, because sometimes you can be too tired to sleep. But yeah, I've exercised to help try to get my sleep on track or whatever. I have not gone to bed when I knew I wasn't sleepy. I have listened to audiobooks. I have listened to these noises, like whatever you find soothing. What else have I done? I believe that's about it. So if anybody can tell me anything that I did not list, I would greatly appreciate it. It's only worth a try. If that's the most I can ask for. If you know anything that I didn't mention that might really help me, because I am telling you, I am so tired of this, of the monotony of not sleeping. Now, what are the side effects of insomnia? Just personally speaking, for me, it's during those times, like I said, if everyone in my house is sleeping, most of the time they are. A lot of times, I still stay in the bed because I do not want to disturb anyone while they are sleeping, because I know only too well how it feels to be deprived of sleep for whatever reason. And sometimes I can be asleep, but you know how you stretch or you may change positions. I have insomnia so bad that sometimes just turning over wakes me completely up. I mean, it's like I never went to sleep. And then I get frustrated because of it. And then when we talk about I mentioned something a while ago. Oh, yeah, it can also reap havoc on my train of thought. Anyway, I can be all over the place saying anything and nothing and just be rambling. And I try to catch myself when that's going on. But yes, I think if it can be tried, I've already done it. But like I said, it's always a chance that there's something out there that I haven't tried, and I'm willing to try it. Now, you said you may be wondering, well, what kind of sleep aid are you on? Because can you get a different one? Yes, I can. But guess what? Once my body realizes I'm on a different medicine, I'm right back where I started. In other words, I'll sleep like a baby for the first week or two, possibly even a month. But then I noticed that I slowly revert right back to these patterns that caused me to seek medical attention for it to begin with. So I have decided that I'm not going to, and the doctor's always asking me if, how am I sleeping, or if I want a new prescription. And so I've decided, no, I'm just going to stay where I am. And you say, well, if the medicine is not doing you any good, I wouldn't take it. Or why do you keep taking it? Well, because without the medicine, it's like I may have consumed caffeine for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I am literally wired. And I've never in my life used any illicit drugs. I don't smoke cigarettes. I may have a wine cooler or a daiquiri 2, maybe 3 times a year, if that. But I don't understand why it has to be so bad. Yeah, insomnia, that is. Let me see what else. I wanted to, I addressed the waking up just sometimes from turning over. And don't let it, well, now, I think everybody is annoyed if you get a phone call, while you're asleep. The difference between me and somebody else is that once that phone rings, I'm awake. I can't just roll over and go back to sleep. And all my children's life, and my oldest child is 24, my youngest one is 12. When they are asleep, I would be willing to snatch a knife at somebody if they disturb their sleep, because I understand how fragile that sleep switch is. Once it's thrown, it's not going back the other way. I'm not exactly sure what happened that would cause me to be that way, because I know that as a baby, an infant, and a toddler, my mother and grandmother both have told me stories about how I would sleep through the day and be up at night, and they used to take turns watching me until it dawned on my grandmother that I wasn't hurting myself or, getting hurt and stuff. So they just decided they would just go on and go back to bed or whatever. But okay, I wouldn't think that would be insomnia that young, because at least I was sleeping through the day. Now, I don't, oh yeah, that's another thing. They say don't take naps. I don't take naps. I do not take naps. Sometimes I be so sleepy. Oh my gosh, I am so sleepy. But I make myself stay awake. On the off chance that when I go to bed that night, I will sleep. But guess what? Once I force myself awake, I'm up. So now I have decided, in my ripe old age or infinite wisdom of 53, almost 54, that if I'm sleepy during the day, I don't care what's going on. I'm just going to take the nap. Because I now know that I will be up at night regardless of whether or not I took the nap. So, yeah, that's something else they say, don't take naps during the day. But as a baby, I would sleep through the day. But the older I got, the more awake I was. And then here I am, just still, all these years later. Like I said, if I can get 4 hours of uninterrupted sleep, I'm good for the day. Now, getting back to doctors saying we need at least 8 hours of sleep a night, I think sometimes I probably beat myself up because I wasn't getting 8 hours of sleep. In other words, I don't necessarily believe that we really need 8 hours of sleep. Because if we did, I think I would get that. I used to try my best to get 8 hours. But then one day I noticed that I think I did it for like 2 weeks straight one time. And I was noticing that I was averaging about 4 hours of sleep. But now most of the time my sleep is interrupted. And it doesn't help matters either. That when I do go to sleep, I'm a light sleeper. So I can be sleepy. If I hear you sneeze, I'm up. But I am over trying to figure everything out. But that 8 hour sleep thing, I learned years ago to understand that everything doesn't apply to everybody. So where most people may need that 8 hours of sleep, I have learned to accept, don't be greedy, don't push it. Just get your 4 hours and be thankful for what you got. Now, for me, a dream night of sleep would be 6 hours. So I'm realistically speaking, 8 hours is out the question for me. I believe I hate the number 8. I won't say I hate the number 8 because it hadn't done that to me. It doesn't know it even exists, probably. But I did used to beat myself up because I kept trying to make myself fit in that box. But, I guess about 30 years ago, I had to accept that I will probably never get 8 hours of sleep. I can push for 6 and thankful for 4 that I get. But the 4 that I get is still hard because now my husband, if he is asleep, he's asleep. He's not a very hard sleeper. But if I'm over here nodding off, he is tossing and turning and fidgeting, which is rare that he does, but he will do it. And then when I wake up, he wants to pile up and sleep. Oh, no, it don't work like that, partner. You know how hard it is for me to go to sleep. And sometimes he'll say stuff like, you sleep, because he noticed my breathing pattern. I'm like, do not do that to me. So, yeah, I just figure you have to find what works for you. And I do know that the one thing I have learned is that I won't beat myself up anymore about not getting the 8 hours of sleep. I hadn't done that, like I said, in about 30 years. But They tell you to set goals in every other aspect of your life. And to me, sleeping is a very real, or the lack thereof in my case, a very real aspiration. So my goal is to try to get 6 hours of sleep and be thankful for the 4 that I usually get at night. And yes, I can tell the difference because I wake up off and on throughout the night, as do most people, I believe. But if I'm still within that 4 hours, I'll wake up, meaning my eyes are open. I am aware that I'm awake, but I'm resting. I'm still in that relaxed state, and I will drift off back to sleep. But then sometimes I wake up and I'm just up. Well, I know sometimes, it's most of the time. So it's really important to me that people respect my boundaries of sleep. But my family, they all know that I have issues of sleep. Excuse me. Now, I they pretty much always know. They say I'm like a ghost because I don't have to have lights on. I'm not loud, even though I feel like everybody hears like I do it. I know that's not true, but on the off chance that I may be up walking around and it may disturb them, that's what keeps me in the bed. And then, I don't know, it's just, it may sound like much ado about nothing, but it is really real if you're the one suffering through this. So anyway, I guess I'll wrap this up. It's been on my mind to do a video about this to see what kind of feedback I will get. I am still reading the book My Mother's Keeper about Betty Davis. Probably gonna be another week or so before I get it done, but don't give up on me. I've got nothing but hours of awake time. Oh yeah, just let me tell you this before I go. Now, as hard as it is for me to go to sleep, one of my sisters is just as hard for her to stay awake. No, she doesn't have narcolepsy. We just kid and say, I didn't get enough of the, what is that we have? Cerebellum. She got too much and I didn't get enough. Because for the 20 hours that I am awake, 19, 20 hours a day that I'm awake, the only reason she doesn't sleep those same 19, 20 hours is because she works. But you can best believe when Sister Girl gets home, it's a wrap. Now tomorrow, she'll probably call me on her way home today, maybe. But if she don't, I won't hear from her before Monday or Tuesday of next week. And she works Monday through Friday. But when I say she will literally sleep herself away up there all weekend long. That's what she's going to do. When she climbs those stairs to her bedroom, that's a wrap. She'll send my nephew to go get her something to eat. Like, she'll probably stop on her way home and get something to eat tonight. But tomorrow, when she don't feel like getting up, and she won't, she'll send my nephew to go get her something to eat, or and my brother-in-law runs in and out. Long as they don't bother her, she ain't, all is good in her world. So, yeah, it's just amazing how one family can be at opposite ends of the same sleep spectrum. Then I have another sister who's always telling me, my youngest sister, what you need is what was that she gave me? Some sort of PM. It was new at the time, had come out. She was like, I'm telling you, you take this, you need to be in the bed when you take it, because I promise you, you'll just slide down under the covers and go to sleep. She and my mom do the same thing. But truth be told, those two, my mom and my younger sister, they'll go to sleep off of a baby aspirin. So I learned years ago not to pay them any attention when they talk about, this stuff is going to have you so sleepy you can't. It's going to take you a while. You'll be so groggy even when you get up. None of that has come to pass for me. Other folks always talk about, I wish I had $1 million, or I wish and I love and need money as much as the next person. But to ask me what I aspire to do, my answer would be sleep. Also, I've never been one of these people who like to dream. The phrase follow your dreams has never been anything I cared to do. I somehow think that indirectly or subliminally speaking, this may be part of the reason why I don't sleep. I don't have dreams. I have, I guess, puzzleations. I know there isn't a real word. It can't be. But I don't have nightmares, so to speak. But I do have extremely vexing, uncannily real, or seemingly real dreams. I have never in my natural born life been one of these people who wished a dream of mine would come true, because that's nothing but doom and gloom. So tell me, book lovers, is there a correlation in between bad dreams and your inability to sleep? Because I don't wake up saying, ooh, I don't want to go back to sleep. I can't go back to sleep. I have got to stay up. Ooh, please don't let me go. No. That's not it. I will have a dream that is sometimes my dreams are so complicated. Now I know that we don't just have one dream, or those of you who sleep. You don't just have one dream. You have several dreams, but it's only one that you clearly remember. If you remember any at all, you usually don't remember more than one. But with all of that being said and done, my dreams are so complex that I believe that is a combination of several dreams pieced into one, because one has nothing to do with the other. I'm going to tell this story, then I guess I'm going for real. Now, I know if you are a subscriber of mine, you probably know that I am visually impaired, and I understand that plays a role in part of the reason why I don't sleep, because our internal lights never go off. And so to our bodies, it's like daylight 24/7. Even totally blind people, our circadian rhythms are just all jacked up. All right, but one night I dreamt I went to the eye doctor. When I got in there, they weighed me. And, in my waking life, I've been under the best eye doctors, but never once have they ever weighed me in the eye doctor, not the eye doctor, dude. Don't do that one. All right, but in the dream, yeah, I was weighed, and then I, in real life, I was the patient of, at one time, the number one eye doctor in the country. Matter of fact, he was about here rather, while I was on the operating table because nobody knew what I had. I was misdiagnosed up until I was 13 years old when he came to the state, and I am still his patient all these years later. Okay. In my dream, after they weighed me and they called me to go to the examining room, I went in there. When he finally got in there to see me, he was just talking to me, and then he stood up and just right in front of me morphed into a female. I mean, the voice, the height, his gait, his features. He went from he to she. And now, and this was way before we knew anything about transgender reassignment like is prevalent today. That's probably part of why the dream was so weird to me, because it just didn't make sense to me. How you just gonna be a man and just mid-speech you become a woman? All of this is in the same dream. So after he got to examining me, or she, whatever she was, one of the people in the same body told me not to forget to collect my consolation prize on the way out. Who does that? Where's all of this? Going to the eye doctor is not the same as being some sort of a game show contestant, but that's what I felt like when they said go and get my consolation prize on the way out the door. So, they give those if you lose. And so when I went and got my consolation prize, guess what it was? It was a year's supply of laundry detergent. I don't know, but when I woke up, I was visibly, physically shaking because I couldn't put two and two together, and I still can't. I don't know what that was. Really, I don't. But that's just an example of one of the crazy dreams I have. So I have no need to dream, but would love to know if there is a correlation, be it directly or indirectly, to insomnia. Okay, book lovers, I'm gonna let you go. I just wanted to share this tidbit of information. Well, a whole lot of information with you all. And like I said, please, oh please, oh please, if you don't do anything else I ask of you, please get down in the commentary and tell me of anything that I didn't mention that I might try. I'd appreciate it an awful lot. In the meanwhile, just know that all is well that reads well. And until we read again, thanks for listening, guys. God bless.